I'm not used to the light. It might take me a moment to adjust. I've been kept in the dark. I would tell you how long, but I don't know. I was part of an experiment. This experiment kind of had two parts, really. The first part was really just an attitude experiment. They came in the middle of the night, so I suppose that's appropriate. And they abducted me. And that was the first part. Wrenching me from sleep. Wrenching me from my bed. Wrenching me from my apartment. Putting a bag over my head and throwing me in the back of a van. So that's the first part of the experiment. How would I handle that? Would I resist? Would I comply? I guess I did a little bit of both. I resisted at first, and then I complied. And when I was thrown into the back of the van, it was like basic seats, I suppose, benches. And there were others there who had also been thrown into the back of the van, I'm guessing. I mean, it makes sense, because there was a lot of muffling. We were gagged. So I could hear a bunch of gagged muffles. It was cold. Squeaky, because the van was old, and there was a musty smell, which scared me. At first, I didn't know what it was. Turns out it's just body odor. By the amount of muffles, I would guess that there was anywhere between 5 to 10 other people with bags over their heads and gagged. So that was the first part of the experiment, just being taken and thrown into the back of a van with other people. And then I don't know how long we drove. Could have been about an hour. And I don't know how I really kind of deduced that we went underground. It's maybe just a feeling, or maybe there was this incline, probably an incline. And then you can kind of hear a difference when you're going into a tunnel. So the van stopped. Oh yeah, we were zip tied. Forgot to mention that. Hands behind our backs. And, you know, I'm guessing it was a gun, some kind of rifle to my back, but, I mean, that could have just been fake. Probably was real. And then we're just put into some kind of cell, which was damp, and I think it was more like a cave, because the ground was uneven, like I was on rocks. And I could hear a faint trickle, so a trickle of water. Strangely enough, I was not under the impression that I was going to be hurt. I didn't think that my abductors were going to actually kill me or abuse me or anything like that. I just kind of went with the flow. tried to ask questions, but if you got something in your mouth, you can't even talk. And there I was, in the cell, zip-tied, hands behind my back, gagged, bag over my head. I don't know what the experiment was, really. When I say it's an experiment, I just think it was an experiment. Because after some period of time, they pulled me out, threw me back in a van, with a gun to my back, or what I thought was a gun, a rifle. Same kind of muffled gang of people. And then I was back in my bed. No bag over my head, no zip tie. I can't quite make sense of it. What were they trying to learn? Were they trying to learn something? Who were these people? What was the point? I do think about it a lot. A sense of powerlessness. Futility. Fear. Dread. Is the experiment over? Or am I simply in the third part of it? Where I go about my everyday life. And I try to move on and forget, but I can't. And they're monitoring me somehow, maybe through my phone, through a camera on the ceiling, or a microchip in my brain. And they want to know. I also wonder if it was humans. I mean, I know they were kind of like humans. I don't really know if they were human. I never saw anybody. They could have been grays, nanotech artificial aliens. I don't know. But why go through all that trouble? What are you trying to learn? Sometimes I wonder if it was just a dream. Or someone slipped me some acid and I just had a really bad trip. But I also don't feel like I can talk about this with just anybody. People think I'm crazy. Getting abducted in the middle of the night, thrown into some kind of cell, and then brought back and nothing bad happened. Maybe they're trying to gauge what I do with what happened. Like, how deep do I go? And the fact that I just don't know. Do I ever stop? Do I mind that for my entire life? Just constantly excavating the different layers of possibility to find the truth, and yet unable to do that. I mean, we think that we can get at the truth. And so we try, but what if we can't get at the truth? Are we going to keep trying? It's like, maybe I can't actually get at the truth, but I never stop trying to figure it out. And that's what they're interested in. They're like, okay, he doesn't have enough information to get the truth. But he's not gonna stop. Let's watch him and see what he does. And if they are aliens, if they're just some kind of nanotech, artificial, alien life form, AI, whatever, maybe they're studying me because they are stuck themselves. They're trying to figure something out, and they don't have enough information, but they can't stop. And what would that be? Am I the missing link? When they understand me, do they understand themselves? Have they been abducted in the middle of the night and thrown into a cell? And then freed without any explanation? And then they decide to just do that to others? Will I do that with my cat? Come here, kitty. Let me blindfold you. Throw you in the closet. Bring you back out. And now you're just gonna start meowing and wondering what the hell just happened. Now the cat would have a little bit more information than I did. And maybe I had a little bit more information than the aliens did. It's a fractal progression. But see, I can't get my answers now. So I do feel like maybe if I experiment with my cat, I can get what I need and extrapolate and understand this wider dynamic, this more complicated fractal of reality. And then the cat gets a mouse and does the same thing, puts the mouse in a hole in the wall, covers up the hole with his paw, and the mouse can't get out, and the mouse gets out, and the mouse is like, what happened? And the mouse is especially confused because the mouse is thinking, why didn't the cat eat me? So the cat and the mouse are having their dynamic, and the mouse is just like, I can't figure it out, and the mouse has got a mouse mind. And so then the aliens above me, they're just trying to figure stuff out. I don't hold it against them, just like my cat doesn't hold against me, and the mouse doesn't hold against the cat. But who's above that alien? Now here I am. This must be part of the experiment, this constant fractal extrapolation where I'm trying to grok the truth and excavate reality and not having sufficient data to do so. It's maddening. I mean, I almost feel like abducting myself, zip-tying my own hands and then throwing a bag over my head and tossing myself in the back of the van and driving myself to some undisclosed location, throwing myself in a cell at gunpoint, holding the gun to my own back, just so I can get enough data to kind of reconstruct the crime scene. What happened here? And I think the aliens are studying me assiduously. They think they're getting closer to the truth. Well, I'm sorry, guys. If you're not going to kind of clue me in on what's going on, I'm going to throw you for a loop. What I just did there, with the fractal extrapolation of alien, human, cat, mouse, see if you're going to find the truth after I threw that at you. What? I'm listening. Are you putting thoughts in my head now? Is that what that was all about? Did you just put all that in my mind? I don't even know what thoughts are mine. So yeah, I'm getting a little bit paranoid. Just a little. Not a lot. I'm still sane. I'm still here. Wits about me. But you can understand, right? Wait till it happens to you, and I suspect it's going to happen to a lot of people. Well, this is just the beginning, and if it's not just the beginning, this has been happening for a while. It's going to spread if it hasn't already. You'll be abducted soon, too, so what I suggest is that you find a way to record what's happening as it's happening so you have your data for analysis later. Don't let the aliens catch you off guard. So if I had to do it all over again, I would do some laser-like tripwires. And so right when the aliens came in to abduct me, and throw the bag over my head and zip tie me, hog tie me, almost, and the cameras would be rolling. I would get my data, which would be really meta, because then that data would be data I use to suss out the situation later, ex post facto, so I can disentangle all the imbroglio. And yet the aliens are going to be watching me from that meta synthetic level, trying to piece together everything, the puzzle pieces, from all the data from the cameras that were rolling. And yet, let's be real, when those cameras show me the footage, the aliens blanked them out with their superior tech. Which is data. That's data. Where is this idea of fractal extrapolation coming from, anyways? Did I get that from the aliens? Or did you guys get that from me? I am now turned on. I'm activated. Now I'm insatiable, I'm relentless. There's nothing that's going to stop me, because now that I've been experimented upon, now that I've been the lab rat, I want to experiment on myself again. I want to be my own lab rat. I want you to be my lab rat. I want you to be my lab rat. What are you going to do? Otherwise, do you really have that much going on in your life? Or do you want to have an adventure with me? Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be the one who abducts you in the middle of the night. I would never say something like that. But I'm not going to deny that I might have something to do with it if it actually happens. I'm not saying that I'm setting anything up. It might just be that I'm manifesting it, but only because this is what we've both mutually agreed to. You'd have to kind of sign on the dotted line. No, I can't do that. I would never do that. That'd be horrible. But we are here to run experiments, are we not? For the evolution of our own consciousness. We're trying to grow and transform and become better and bigger, healthier, happier. So when strange things happen to you like they happen to me, you gotta just kind of grab it by the horns. You gotta say, I'm gonna ride this. I'm gonna take it wherever it's gonna take me. You know, I want to go places. I want to go to the moon. I want to see what's on the dark side of the moon, because that's where I think all the good shit's happening. That's where I think I'm gonna find all my answers. I think that's where the signal is coming from.